Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see today, I have a little something with me to enjoy. But I just want to introduce the next recipe that I have done. Just a little info. So I try to film everything that I cook, literally everything. And the reason for that is if something really turns out great and I'm happy with the way it tastes and it doesn't need any more amendments from my side, so then I want to post it, I want to share it with you because I am happy with how it has turned out. Today's recipe is very simple, but this was incredibly delicious. I had to share it. So simple, so I am excited about that fact, excited that you will get to try it. And honestly, if you don't try this one, you're just being lazy. It's so simple to make. The ingredients are literally everywhere. You probably have them in your house right now. So get onto it, make it. And very important, or for me anyway, please do share. If you get to try any of these recipes, please do share a picture or something, so I know that someone's listening somewhere. So do share them. I will take a lot of inspiration from that. That is some spinach, some garlic, some thyme, some ready rolled puff pastry, and some Boerewors. Okay, that is literally all I'm using, with of course a few spices just to make it nice. But this is how simple this is. I really hope you guys get to try this because it is gonna be amazing. You'll notice that I used water and not oil. It's because Boerewors is already has so much fat in there. I didn't see the need for using oil, so I normally just use a little bit of water just to get the cooking process started, and then that'll obviously evaporate and then it'll start cooking in its own juices and oil. Yeah, something that my gran taught me growing up, so I'm just gonna do that quickly. Let's just let it go for a bit. You'll see it'll start bubbling away and the water will obviously evaporate, and then the cooking will get started. So let's do that quickly.
The aim is not to cook through the wors because it will be cooked further in the oven. It is just to sear the outside so that your pastry is not soggy.
So I'm adding my garlic and thyme that have been finely chopped there. My wort is ready. Going to use a little olive oil. What I'm doing currently is basically blanching. I'm blanching it just using the boiling water. This is the spinach. I don't have it on the stove at all. It's literally, as you can see, on my sink, and I just poured the boiling water now. So I'm just going to stir it around. One thing I was taught about blanching that is quite important, that helps you preserve that nice color, is also having really salty water that you use to do this. So as you saw, I used about 2 tablespoons. I would think it's about 2 tablespoons of salt that I just added to this water. It is quite salty, but remember, we are going to drain this water off once I am satisfied with the color that I have gotten to with regards to this. So if I'm blanching with rapidly boiling water on the stove, I would have done this for 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, about 2 minutes. But now I'm going to do it a little longer because I am not using the stove as mentioned. So what's nice about blanching and shocking your green vegetables is that they keep a very nice vibrant green color throughout your dish. Even once it's been cooled later, it'll still preserve that nice green color that's very appetizing, and not that brownish green that, you know, doesn't look so lekker. So this is this is something I really like doing when I'm dealing with my leafy greens, you know, so that they look nice and vibrant on my dishes. So I think I'm actually happy with that. What you can also do is you can just tear a piece off and taste. So I'm gonna actually taste this. I'm super happy with that. My spinach has lost that, has lost the bitterness and actually tastes really good now. So I am basically done. So I'm gonna just drain this off quickly. So the very important step that we're going to follow now is introduce our ice.
The ice helps me get my water ice cold, and you want your water to be really ice cold in order for the cooking process to stop within the cells of the spinach. So this is to encourage the cooking process to stop completely, because as you might know, even though you don't have your spinach on the stove, it does continue cooking from the residual heat within it. So you remove the residual heat, it ensures no more cooking. This is a perfect trick to use when you're making creamed spinach. As you can see, I'm now wringing out all the excess water or moisture from the spinach, and I'm also going to use a clean kitchen towel to further do this. So when I'm making creamed spinach, this is literally the best way of doing it, and as mentioned, it ensures that the color remains green and doesn't become brownish when you've cooked it and you go further you know, adding the cream and whatever else. So this is a nice trick that you can use. Also, how easy is it chopping cooked spinach? I must say, for me, this was a huge breakthrough when I realized I could do this, because raw spinach becomes so messy and it's all over the show, but this is so much easier. Fun fact, because we have shocked our spinach, the chlorophyll, which is the green in it, stays in place even if I now cook it further, which is what I'm doing to add all these spices. It will literally remain green, you'll see through the next steps.
a reminder that my spinach is already cooked. This is just to get a bit of flavor from that garlic and that thyme, and just to cook off the spices. We've just added just a tiny bit, but it's not cooking, it is just infusing some flavors before we go on to our next step. So I'm actually happy with this. I'm really happy with it. It's like I'm not gonna add more salt because I'm using Boerewors, as we all know. It is extremely salty, so I'm not gonna season the step. Might add just a little bit of black pepper. Yeah, I'll use a little bit of black pepper here. But that's it.
Now to assemble and roll my pastry, I'm going to use water and a pastry brush. I found that water works so much better for binding pastries. Whether it's puff pastry or phyllo, water definitely works better. Don't make the mistake of rolling out your pastry without having floured your surface. This just ensures that your pastry doesn't get stuck to the surface that you're working on, because that'll become a literal mess. So I always just go over it and roll it out just once. It is not necessary because this is already rolled pastry. It just makes it neater. My pastry was literally the perfect size for this piece of wors. I was so happy. However, my spinach is lacking. Like, it tasted really good at the end, but I think if I were to do this again, I would definitely double the amount of spinach I used, so that there's just like a whole lot more that covers the wors. I am using feta. As you all know, feta and spinach are a match made in heaven, and this is no exception either. So this worked out really well for me. You see now why it wasn't necessary to have extra seasoning or salt on the spinach when I was cooking it, because feta has salt, Boerewors has salt, so really unnecessary and would have been overkill. You see, I've used my water to brush the ends of the pastry, to ensure that it just gets stuck together and doesn't unroll. But yeah, it's pretty secure. No need for any more of that. Now this is the step where egg wash becomes incredibly important. I'm making egg wash by mixing the leftover water with an egg, and that is to brush the top surface of my rolled pastry. This just gives us that nice color on it when it gets cooked. My pastry was ready after about 10 minutes on 180 degrees. And there you have it, folks, all done, all nice and flaky, beautiful color on the top. I served mine with some tender stem broccoli. You can obviously decide how you serve yours. Okay guys, just to wrap this up for you. So you've seen the recipe, you've taken the ingredients down. I will link a couple of other recipes that I've already posted on my YouTube over here. And you should subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I will also link that somewhere here to make it so much easier for you. Thanks guys for your time and watching till the end. Until next time, love and light to you all.